The POWERCORE 360 full body training system is a game changer. In our videos, we've spent a lot of time showing drills and exercises to improve world-class power hitting arm speed and mechanics. But equally important is specialized strength training. Strength training that will immediately improve an athlete's ability to hit the ball harder while avoiding pain and injury long term. The POWERCORE 360 full body training system is a patented proprietary system we developed to help athletes rotate their body and shoulders faster, leading to more powerful hits while reducing injury risk. What's included in the system? The training system consists of a hip harness, torso harness, arm cuffs, resistance bands, an anchor strap, an exercise handle, and a carry bag. For volleyball hitters, we use this system to teach and train athletes to rotate their hips, spine, shoulders, and arms more explosively. This requires specialized strength training against resistance to maximize speed and power. The hip harness. The hip harness is worn around the athlete's pelvis. When connected to a resistance band, it strengthens the muscles responsible for rotating the pelvis with greater force, power, and speed. Why is it important? The rotation of the pelvis plays a critical role in increasing arm speed and hitting power. Most young hitters rely primarily on their hitting arm and shoulder, but world-class hitters learn to generate power by rotating their hips with strength, power, and speed, which ultimately increases the velocity of their arm and the ball. While many scientists and biomechanics experts understand that hip rotation directly impacts arm speed, before POWERCORE 360, there was no effective way to specifically strengthen the muscles responsible for turning the hips and pelvis during the swing.
A big face when you took the band off. What did you feel?
I felt like I was free, basically. I could less resistance, but I could tell I was turning a lot more.
Yeah. Did it feel way lighter when you took it off?
Yes, a lot. I feel like I was twisting a lot more than I have been before. So I could feel the difference between the way I was hitting at the beginning of the camp versus how I'm hitting now.
Why traditional methods fall short? Athletes have traditionally used medicine balls, handheld resistance bands, or cable machines to strengthen their hip and core muscles. However, these methods do not directly target the muscles that rotate the pelvis. They engage them indirectly through the arms, hands, and torso, making them less efficient. Injury prevention. Strengthening the muscles around the hips and pelvis also reduces the risk of injury by making them stronger and more pliable. This flexibility helps protect the hips, pelvis, and lower back from strain and injury. Muscle memory and technique correction. One of the fastest ways to teach an athlete to hit with power is to let them feel the correct and incorrect movements of the hips and pelvis during the swing. With hip harness and resistance bands, athletes immediately recognize how to properly rotate their pelvis for safe and powerful arm and ball speed. As athletes repeat these movements, they develop muscle memory, allowing their brain to automate the movement so it happens naturally in a game without conscious thought. Torso harness. The torso harness is worn around the bottom of the rib cage, and it works similarly to the hip harness by allowing resistance bands to be attached. It strengthens the muscles responsible for rotating the spine and shoulders, leading to greater arm and ball speed for volleyball hitters. Strengthening the core and spinal muscles not only allows athletes to rotate and hit harder, but it also reduces the risk of injuries to the muscles and joints of the spine by increasing strength, flexibility, and resilience. Like the hip harness, the torso harness allows athletes to feel the correct and incorrect movements, accelerating the learning process. Why the torso harness is essential. Initially, we focused on the hip harness to improve rotation and arm speed. However, we soon realized there was a missing key component, training muscles that rotate the spine and shoulders. Because the rib cage connects directly to the spine through the ribs, attaching resistance bands to the torso harness allows athletes to strengthen their core and spinal muscles through rotational resistance, significantly improving torso turn, arm speed, and ball velocity. By training the turn of the hips and torso together, athletes can generate power from the thighs, hips, pelvis, core, chest, shoulders, and arms, instead of overloading just the hitting arm and shoulder, which often leads to pain and injury. Arm cuffs. The POWERCORE 360 full body training system also includes 2 arm cuffs, worn above the wrist and elbow on the hitting arm. These cuffs allow the resistance bands to be attached, conditioning the chest, shoulders, and arm muscles to be stronger, more explosive, and more resilient. At the same time, this training improved flexibility and pliability, which is crucial for reducing shoulder pain and rotator cuff injuries, common issues amongst many volleyball players. Just like the hip and torso harnesses, the arm cuffs help build muscle memory by letting athletes feel the correct and incorrect arm movements so they don't waste time reinforcing bad habits. The arm cuffs can also be worn around the ankles to train and condition hip and pelvic muscles during the movements such as hip flexion, extension, abduction, and adduction. Exercise handle. This system includes an exercise handle that attaches to the resistance bands. This allows athletes to perform a wide variety of strength exercises, targeting nearly any muscle group in the body, including the arms, chest, shoulder, core, and spine. The POWERCORE 360 full-body training system delivers immediate improvements in rotational power, enhancing arm swing speed and hitting power. With just a few weeks or months of training, athletes can develop world-class mechanics, explosive hitting power, greater arm and ball speed, and reduce injury risk. This system is the most effective way to strengthen the muscles responsible for hitting harder while staying injury-free.